that proud mom look shining in her eyes. And why shouldn't it? Anyone brave enough to give birth was a heroine in my book. Oh my God! He is edible. How old is he now? I asked as Ali sat down and cradled him in her lap. 7 weeks. Wow, he looks huge. That's because he has such a good appetite. Ali smiled as she unbuttoned her shirt and positioned the baby in the right place. Bear began to suckle noisily, and I winced. Doesn't it hurt when he's feeding? It did at first, but we got into the swing of it, didn't we, darling? She said, looking down at him like I guessed I'd sometimes looked at Mitch. In other words, with love. Well, now we will leave you two girls to chat and see you later, Claudia said as, the clearing up done, she followed Ma out of the kitchen. I'm real sorry about Bear's dad, Ali. Thanks, Electra. Did the father, his name was Theo. Did Theo know about Bear? No, and nor did I until a few weeks after he died. At the time, I thought the roof had fallen in on my world, but now, Ali smiled at me, and I read genuine contentment in her clear blue eyes. I wouldn't be without him. Did you consider an abortion? The thought did run briefly through my head, yes. I mean, I had my sailing career, Bear's dad was dead, and I had no home at the time either. I could never have gone through with it, though. I feel Bear was a gift. Sometimes when I'm up feeding him in the small hours, I really sense Theo around me. You mean his spirit? Yes, I do. I wouldn't have thought that you believed in all that shit, I said with a frown. Nor would I. But something amazing happened the night before Bear was born. Like what? I flew over to Spain in search of Tiggy, who'd just been diagnosed with a heart condition but had run off to find her birth family. And she told me something, Electra. Something that only Theo could have known. I watched Ali's pale hand go to the necklace she was wearing. What was it? Theo bought me this. Ali held up the tiny turquoise eye that sat on a chain. The chain had broken a few weeks before, and Tiggy said that Theo wanted to know why I wasn't wearing it. Then she said he liked the name Bear. And you know what, Electra? He did. Tears appeared in Ali's eyes. Anyway, having been a cynic, I'm afraid I'm now a convert, and I just know Theo is watching over us. She shrugged and gave me a misty smile. I sure wish I had a belief like that. Trouble is, I don't believe much in anything. So, how is Tiggy's heart now? Much better, apparently. She's back in the Scottish Highlands and very happily ensconced with the doctor who looked after her when she was sick. He also happens to be the owner of the estate she works on. It could be wedding bells for her soon, then? I doubt it. Charlie's still technically married and going through a pretty ugly divorce from what Tiggy's told me. And the other sisters? Maya is still in Brazil with her lovely man, Floriano, and his daughter, Star, is in Kent in England helping her boyfriend, who for some reason is known as Mouse, renovate his house, and Cece's in Australia living with her grandfather and her friend Chrissy in the outback. I've seen some photos of her paintings and they're just amazing. She's so talented. So, all the sisters have found a new life, I said. Yes, it seems like it. And they each found it through searching for their past? They did, yes. And I did too. I emailed you to tell you I had a twin brother, didn't I? Um, oh, Electra, I did, really. And a biological father who is a musical genius but a total drunkard to boot. I watched Ali smile fondly at the thought of him, as she deftly moved the baby from one breast to the other. So, she continued, have you done anything about your letter from Pa? I've never even opened the envelope, and to be honest, I can't remember where I put it. It may be lost. Oh, Electra. Ali gave me her best disapproving look. You can't be serious. Hey, it must be somewhere, I just haven't bothered to find it. You really don't want to know where you came from? No, I just can't see the point. What does it matter? I'm who I am now. Well, it certainly helped me. And even if you don't want to pursue what the letter contains, Pa's written words were his last gift to all of us. Jesus Christ. I'd had enough. You and our other sisters treat Pa as though he were some freaking god. He was just a guy who adopted us for some weird reason that none of us actually knows. Please don't shout, Electra. It upsets the baby, but I'm sorry if I'm going out for a walk. I stood up from the table, marched to the front door and pulled it open, slamming it behind me. I walked across the lawns towards the jetty, wishing, as I always did after a few hours at Atlantis, that I'd never decided to come back here in the first place. What is it with my sisters and Pa? He's not even our biological father, for Christ's sake. I continued to complain to myself as I sat down, feet dangling over the jetty, and tried to take some deep breaths. They didn't work. Maybe another line would. I stood up and retraced my footsteps back to the house, tiptoeing inside and up the stairs so no one would hear me. In my room, I locked the door and took out what I needed. A few minutes later, I was feeling far calmer,